Hello, everyone. It's another episode of Magical Creators Online Summit, and I'm your host, Inga Dexner. And I'm delighted to introduce my guest today, Aishling Mooney. She's not just an expert that I've invited, she's my soul sister, a dear friend who I've known, I think, my entire life and even from previous lives as well. So I'm really excited to invite Aishling today, and we will be talking all things angels. So Aishling, can you introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Hi Inga, hi everybody. So I'm Aishling Mooney. I'm really thrilled to be part of this summit. Delighted when Inga invited me along. So I'm an angel intuitive and a spiritual business mentor, and I'm the founder of your Angel Circle membership and community. And I've been teaching and talking about angels for the last 10 years, and I've had my own angel experiences going right back to nearly 30 years. So I'm delighted to be part of this and to see what I can contribute, how I can help you. I know that our audience here, your audience, Inga, is mainly spiritual entrepreneurs, light workers, and that this video as part of this whole video series will be a resource that people can come back to over and over again. So I'm hoping that we can jump into maybe a little meditation grounding exercise, and that's it. So let's see.
Excellent. It also what can happen that some of our listeners may not be exposed to angels before. And also before the recording, Aishling and I, we decided that we will go with the flow with this interview. Whatever questions want to come, they will come through. And this interview, I think it's embodiment of trust and flowing with the flow. And I wanted to ask the first question. So, what would you recommend to people who are listening to this particular interview who never been exposed to angels before, or they maybe heard of them, but they've never practically experienced the magic of angels' presence? What would be like your intro into the angels world?
So, I believe that every single person has a guardian angel. I believe that before we arrived on this planet, we sat down with our guardian angel and like we took out a sheet of paper or whatever you do in the energetic realms, and we together with our guardian angel and possibly some other guides as well, we set out our sacred contract. We decided what we were going to do, what we were going to learn, what we needed to experience in this lifetime. And our guardian angel said, I'm going to walk with you every single step of the way. Sometimes you're not going to know that I'm there. You're not going to know that I'm there, and you're going to think you're alone, and you're going to be in challenging and tough and troubled waters. But I promise you that I will be there with you every single step of the way, because some parts of this journey are going to be really, really tough, and you're going to need support. And that's what I believe. I believe that we arrived on this planet with our guardian angels, with our map, our sacred contract. And our guardian angel actually holds that sacred contract, holds that map in their heart, and is guiding us and is nudging us and knows when we're coming up to a big juncture or a big milestone or a big point in our lives where something challenging might happen. Maybe we'll go through a relationship breakup or a health issue or some situation in our family lives, and our angels will, like, they're waiting for that to come, and they come in full force around us to help us. So if I use angels all the time, so I call on them all day, every day, you know, the key is to ask for help and support, even if you don't believe in angels, or even if you can't see them. The key is really to ask for that support. So I had years and years ago, I had this I used to teach live angel classes, and we were doing a walking meditation in the classroom. So we were walking around, I had on some music, and people were breathing with each step. And this woman walked in out of the blue. She'd come for an art class, and she walked into this class, and she was like, what the hell is everybody doing here? And I just said to her, just get into the step, just get into the step, start walking and just breathing, and just be here with us and trust that you're in the right place. She came for an art class, and they said, the art class is cancelled, but there's an angel class, just to jump in. So she arrived in the classroom, and we did a meditation, and then somewhere in the class we pulled angel cards. So I gave everybody an angel card, and this woman's face went white, and I actually was a bit concerned about it. I thought, oh my God, what have we done? Is she okay? And so just, you know, I could see that she was collecting herself, and she was okay. And she came up to me at the end of the class, and she said, you're not going to believe this, but something quite traumatic had happened to her in her life, and it was a challenging time. And she said, I lost my faith in God, or that anything existed. And she said, I have been literally walking around the last week going, if you're real, give me a sign. If you're real, give me a sign, because this is just impossible that this situation can be happening in my life. And then she showed me the angel card, and it said, a sign from above. Like, that was the angel card. And she said, oh my God, I wasn't even meant to be in this classroom today. I was coming for art, and I ended up here, and I've got this message. And that really helped and supported her. She came to classes for as long as I ran them then, when I was doing them live. But it's just a lovely little story that just represents that when you ask for help, even if you don't physically, if your mind at that time can't believe, or can't, just doesn't trust that it exists, that God, whatever you believe God is, love, great spirit, mystery, God and your angels will use whatever they can to give you the support, whatever they can to give you the messages and the guidance, or whatever it is that you need right now. So yeah, so I've loads of stories like that, but I don't know if that's useful, Inga. Is that helpful?
Absolutely. And I also wanted to mention that, like, the purpose of this interview is not to convince non-believers in angels to believe in angels, first of all. It's like, if you want to keep your opinions that angels don't exist, it's fine. So it's probably one of those interviews that you can easily skip. I think it's more about giving guidelines how to work with your angel guides, because they exist. The same like with the gravity, you may not know how it works, but it exists and you experience it. But also with, in terms of angels, you already mentioned that one of the key points is by asking. Yes, in critical situations, they will step in if you're not meant to, finish your journey on the earth. But in majority of situations, they're not proactive. You need to ask for help. And I think it's one of the main elements how to work with angels. Am I right?
Yes, I think asking is the key. Asking is... and it's, one of the messages that came through from my angels was, it's irrelevant to them, the actual task or whatever it is that we're requesting. So it's the same vibration for them. It's the same thing if you say, angels, can you find my pen? Or angels, can you find me $1 million? It's us that create the different value or the different gravity around those two different requests. Because for most of us, it feels very easy to say, find my pen. And it might feel more difficult to say, find me $1 million. But ultimately, the first step to connecting with your angels is just asking, just like that girl, that woman just did. She just asked for a sign. She said, I need some help and support. I don't believe, I'm losing my faith. If you're real, um, um, give me a sign. And she asked for a sign. And anybody can ask their angel for a sign. And it can be, sometimes you can have a specific sign, like you can choose a feather and you can say, give me a feather today to let me know you're here. So I'll tell you some of the signs that I use to know that I'm connected with my angels, to know that I'm on track. I use an X in the sky. So if there's some trails in the sky and they come in an X, I will use that to say, yes, Aishling, you're on track. You're in exactly the right place at the right time. And this is completely according to divine timing and on track. Another really beautiful sign that I use and lots of people in my community use is a rainbow. If they see a rainbow, one of my clients recently saw a complete round rainbow, a complete full rainbow. And this is a really beautiful sign, the rainbow in particular, especially if you're going through a difficult time in your life. A rainbow can be a wonderful burst of hope and just reconnecting with your faith, that there is a higher power and that you're being supported and that this is just, this too shall pass. This is just a part of your journey. But a rainbow is a beautiful symbol of hope. Another symbol that I've come across in my own life and in the lives of clients is birds. So different types of birds will come through at different times. So I was going through a particularly tough time with a family member. And I really didn't know how it was going to unfold, what was going to happen. And I was in a very dark place and I was really thinking, okay, what is the next step in this relationship? And I saw a robin redbreast. And a robin redbreast it's seen as a connection to the other side, to our spirits, to our ancestors, but it's also just a wonderful reminder that you're safe, that you're protected, and that again, that troubling times will pass, they'll move on. And just a lovely story I had one day. I was going through a particularly tough time in my life. And I was living in Ireland. I'm living in Italy right now. I was living in Ireland at the time, and I had a beautiful park nearby. And I said, right, I'm going to just go to the park. I'm going to just walk around and just ask for some help and support with this. I had a chair in the park that I used to go to, and I used to sit there, and I used to call it my angel chair. And I would go there just to talk out whatever was going on in my head. But on this particular day in that park, I decided to walk a different route, slightly different route. And I was contemplating this question and asking for help and support, and just setting the intention that by the end of my walk, I would have this feeling of support, and I would have some solutions, or I would know what the next step was for me. So as I walked around the park, I walked into this clearing. And this never happened before. I lived there for 10 years and I was in that park hundreds, thousands of times. And this never happened before and it never happened afterwards. So it was just this particular day. It was in a really troubling place. I walked into this clearing, and it was filled with feathers. All of the swans on that particular day had decided to shed their feathers. And it was just, if you think about it, it was like a football pitch of feathers, white feathers. And for me, I saw that scene, my heart was just completely lifted. I took that as a complete sign that I was protected and I was safe, and that whatever I was going through was just something I had to go through, I had to learn from, and that it was part of my journey, and that I was just really reminded in that moment and on that day that I was not alone, that there was angels walking beside me, that they'd heard me, that they were answering me, and that this too shall pass. It's one of my favorite phrases. This too shall pass. It helps us to, when we have good times, really appreciate them, and when times are challenging, to know that we will get through them.
Thank you for sharing. This is beautiful story. And I also think what it highlights as well. So when we ask for a sign, it will be easier if we are specific, like what kind of sign we are looking for, or what kind of emotion would show that we have received that sign, because it's easier to communicate.
Yeah, so I suppose when I saw those feathers, I was lifted. My heart was lifted. I felt reassured. So, and I didn't ask for a specific sign that day. I didn't say I want to see feathers. I just said, look, angels, I want some support. I want to feel supported by the time I leave this park. And the angels chose that sign, or maybe the 100 swans that lived in the park decided to give me that sign. Because I just want to say, for right now, when I see angels, I see sparks of lights and colors. So when I'm in a relaxed state, just before our interview, I saw a beautiful purple light just flash just beside the screen. So I was like, okay, we're here. And it was just as you were speaking about our friendship, Inga, and that really touched my heart. And, the angels just blipped on the screen, just said, we're here, we're here. But for years, I didn't see anything. So, and I just had to trust my feelings, and I had to trust these outer signs, and synchronicities is another thing, coincidences, if you're asking for help. Like one day I got this, I had this issue, this problem. I can't even remember what the problem was. And I was thinking, okay, angels, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to resolve this? And I got this feeling, or this voice, or this intuitive nudge. I don't know, I can't remember exactly how it came, but it was simply go to the local shop and buy milk. Now, there was milk in the fridge. I didn't need milk. I didn't need to go out to the shop. But I listened to the nudge, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I've asked for help. I want to resolve this problem, and it's go to the shop for milk. So put on my coat, went to the local shop, which was only 10 minutes down the road, so it wasn't that big of an ask. I walked into the shop and bumped into a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a long time. We had a conversation. The issue was resolved. She mentioned somebody who could help with this particular thing. Bang. And I also had a bottle of milk, which I probably didn't need. But synchronicities are a great way that our angels let us know. I have another beautiful story of a synchronicity. We have time for this. I went to a conference. Sometimes you go to conferences or retreats and you end up sitting beside people that you didn't even know you needed. So I sat beside this wonderful girl. I went to see Diana Cooper, who came to Ireland a few years ago, and she was talking about Atlantis. Sat beside this wonderful person. We got to know each other. We spent the day together. And during the day, I said to her, I would love to learn more about sound healing and sound therapy. And she said, oh my God, I know this guy. And his name was Tomas. And she said, I know this guy, Tomas. He would be brilliant for you. I said, okay, wrote down his name, completely forgot about it. Then about a week later, she said to me, I'm going to see Deepak Chopra. Do you want to come? I've just booked my tickets. So I said, okay. So I booked a ticket for that event. I met her in the lobby. We weren't sitting together. So we went up to our seats separately. She was sitting in one row. I was sitting directly in the seat in front of her, like in this room of maybe there was 1,000 people. I booked my seat and it was directly in front of this girl that I had just met a week ago. And as we were speaking, And we enjoyed the conference. And then in the interval, she said to me, she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe who's behind me. It's Tomas, the sound healing guy that you wanted to book a session." So I literally went behind her and said, "Hi, Tomas, I'm Aishling. I want to do some sound healing work. Can I get your number and can we book a session?" And it was just a wonderful, synchronistic, full of coincidences. But in my one of my things I'd say to clients is there really are no coincidences. They're just angel messages and angel signposts that we're on track, that we're moving forward, and that we're loved and that we're protected, and that we are not alone on this earth.
So while I was listening to you, the messages were coming into my head that wanted to be voiced. And so based on what you've just said, it feels that when we work with angels, it's like learning a foreign language, like we are learning communicating, and we learn the signs, we learn how they communicate with us. So it's a process. For some people, it may happen like overnight. They start seeing things, hearing things. For some people, it will be a process of development when you create your own communication, your own code language, and it will be clear to you. And the second element that I've noticed, one thing is to ask for help, to hear the messages, and then act on them. Because in your story with the milk, if you decide, "Oh, it's ridiculous, I have milk, why would I need to go after milk?" Because as it turned out, it wasn't about milk, it was about being in that place. So it's about following those internal nudges and act on them. And also the situation with attending the event. So you could say, "Oh, lovely, I will go to another event some other time." It's about, if you commit to communication, if you ask for help, you act on that help. And I think it's important.
Yeah, I love that, Inga. Oh my God, that's the crux of it, is that fearlessly following your nudges. And I've been doing this, you've been doing this a long time, I've been doing this a long time. So thankfully in the beginning we have little nudges, and we're asked to take small steps. And then as we move deepen into this relationship with our angels, we can choose, like we always have free will, whether to take those steps or not. But in my case, I got a nudge in May one year, which was literally move to Italy. And within 4 months, we were living in Italy. Now, it took me about 2 weeks to persuade my husband.
Even though he's Italian, right?
He's Italian, yeah, so we're halfway there already. But it's that commitment, because I've built up the muscle, because I've learned to trust those nudges, because I've learned to trust those feelings. When a nudge is right, that nudge, I literally was walking around my bedroom, and it was like, because we had been thinking about, we wanted to live in a warm climate. We knew we were going to live in a warm climate. We just didn't know where. We were thinking about Portugal. We were thinking about Spain. We were looking at options. We lived in Brazil for a couple of years. So there was a lot of options. And just literally one day I was in the bedroom. Italy was the last place. It wasn't even on our list. And which I know sounds unusual, but it literally was not in the list. And I was walking around my bedroom, maybe making the bed or doing something normal. Wasn't even in meditation or anything like that. And it was just this thought, what about Italy? And it just sort of opened a new conversation, or it lifted me. There was a spark with it. There was an enthusiasm with it. There was like, oh, okay. Yeah, what about Italy? Let's think about that. And as I began to think about it, I began to get more excited. I began to see how easy it would be. And then I went on to convince my husband. within 2 weeks that, okay, we were going to make this move. And I just want to say, because I had built up this muscle, and you know this with your own life and your own circumstances, Inga, that it does require trust, but you do build it up, and you do gain confidence, and you know when it's right. Because I had family members that told me I was crazy, that was the worst decision of my life. I had some friends who didn't understand what I was doing. Like, it took a lot of inner courage. And I listened to all of the arguments and all of the reasons why it wouldn't work. And it took a lot of courage to just really, really tune in and really connect with myself and go, is this right for me and my family? And if the answer is yes, then, which it was for us, we took that leap, and we took it against our family's wishes. And I'm not saying it was rosy when we arrived here. We're here about 15, 16 months now. And the first 8 months were tough, adjusting my whole family. I have two young children, you know, them adjusting to life here. So it's not that when you follow a nudge, everything is going to the garden is going to be roses and everything is just going to fall into place. But even as I go through those challenges, keep checking in and go, okay, still, this is the right decision for us. This is just part of the journey. And if I had known this was going to happen, I probably would have said no way back when I got that nudge. But it's just coming through it and coming to the other side. And now here we are 16 months later, and I can see a beautiful life that's unfolding before us here in Italy. But it's all started with that little angel nudge and the courage to follow through on that. But as I said, 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have followed through on that, because it would have been just too big a step. Whereas go and buy some milk wasn't a really big ask. So,
and I think you've just highlighted a very valid point, that because you followed the nudges, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, right? So you need to go through the process, you need to go through transformation. And very often transformation is not the easiest experience. And a lot of people actually choose not to follow the nudges in order to avoid the pain of transformation, because part of us knows that change will bring discomfort, and we resist and we pretend that we, haven't heard it right. And it's so important to remember, follow the nudges, but also, yes, it may not be that straightforward, but you will be supported along the way. And I wanted to also, because this question popped into my head almost in the beginning of the conversation, and I think it's now, from context point of view, it's very valid time to ask this question. And it's about, we were talking about ask for help and angels will help. So, okay, give me a sign seems like an easy ask. But at the same time, so why it doesn't happen that easy when we say, help me to become a millionaire, help me to have flourishing business, help me to go around the world, like, those juicy wishes that kind of big. Why do you think it's angels don't grant wishes about becoming a millionaire? Because then it would be easy. You just ask, I want to be a millionaire, and then you see your bank account filling with money.
I think you've hit it on the head, Inga, in that you said it's not going to be easy. And I was immediately reminded of the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. If anyone hasn't read it, go and read it. But I'm guessing that most of your audience will have read this book. So hope I'm not a spoiler alert. But it's the story of Santiago. a shepherd who is with his sheep. He sleeps in this ruins one night, and he has this dream of buried treasure. And he's digging up this treasure, and it's everything that he ever wanted, all of the riches that he ever wanted. And he could go and live wherever he wanted and whatever. So he woke up from this dream, and it was quite disturbed. And this dream brings him on an adventure around the world. He leaves his sheep. He has all different sorts of adventures. He works with different people. He grows as a person. He drops all beliefs and patterns from his past, from his childhood. He experiences new horizons and new countries and different cultures. He meets this alchemist, and he becomes an apprentice with this alchemist and learns everything about alchemy, about how to transmute, how to manifest, how to use the power of your mind to manifest whatever he wants in his life. And he also learns to communicate with the invisible realms, with the angels, with nature. And he meets the love of his life. And then after he has gone on this epic journey and adventure, he has, I can't remember exactly, I think he has another dream. I'm actually rereading the book in Italian to try and improve my Italian, so I haven't got to the end of it yet, so I can't remember the exact end. But I think he has another dream, and he realizes that the treasure is in the ruins where he had the dream in the first place. So this whole epic voyage of personal growth and transformation that he had to go on, so that he could become the person who could manage this wealth and this treasure. And that's what I think, when we ask for $1 million or $1 billion or whatever the number is, sometimes it's six figures can be the big number. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but it can be. The angels say, yes, okay, great. Let's go on a fucking epic adventure. Let's release all the BS that you've been holding on to about money. Let's bring up all of your money stories that can be really uncomfortable. Do you think that money is mean? Do you think that rich people are evil, are greedy? Let's look at all of that. Let's transform all of that. Let's, the alchemy of the whole situation. And then when all of that is clear, is clean, is healed, there's forgiveness, there's love, and you can grow into the person. And then when that's done, the $1 million, the treasure that you've been looking for will be yours. And you will realize that it was exactly at the beginning of your journey, but you couldn't. So the $1 million is always there. We have this invisible bank around us, this invisible realm around us. And if $1 million is in your sacred contract, that $1 million is there, but you just have to grow into or transform into the person that's available for that $1 million.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And it also brought realization to me. So when we ask a specific wish, like a big wish, as $1 million or whatever that wish is, it's we request help with our journey. And then it's our willingness to go through the journey, to go through transformation in order to get the wish granted. And a lot of us, we stop the journey. And then we think that angels didn't help. I think it's talking to your angels, communicating. It's more about being on a journey with your guardian angels and that willingness. I'm mindful of time because we're supposed to have a 30-minute interview, but we are past the time. But I would love to stay for long hours. I just wanted to remind and share something with our listeners that 4 years ago, my intuition was kind of in the developing stage. I was getting nudges. I believed in angels, but I never worked with them like in full capacity. And it was Aishling who I consider my guide to angel world. You opened me up to being able to hear them. So you were my tutor with angel language, that listening to your meditations, connecting with Metatron especially, when I started seeing and I started hearing messages, and it opened me to the whole new world of possibilities. And it's so much easier than run your business when you have this guidance and you just need to connect. And I thought we haven't agreed on a particular meditation, but maybe just tune in. It can be some things that help people to connect with guardian angel or start their journey, something not too long, like 10-15 minutes, if you can take us somewhere.
Yeah, brilliant. Love it, love it. So we'll do something very, very quick. And just to touch on what you've said there, Inga, you talked about Metatron. So you were ready for Metatron, because Metatron is an angel that when he steps into your life, it's things are going to be challenging. So you've got to be ready to get uncomfortable, to come out the other end of those challenges. But then there are lots of other angels. Right now, I'm working in the Angel Circle membership with Michael, and it's about courage and confidence, which is why I'm wearing the blue. It's his color. Next month it will be Raphael, and it will be green. So it's there's lots of different angels, but I love that it was in particular with Metatron that you connected. Anyway, let us just take a quick breath. And yeah. So I think since you mentioned Metatron, he's like, yeah, brilliant. Okay, so just take a breath, put your feet flat on the ground. I probably won't close my eyes because it just might look a bit weird, but feel free to close your eyes as you're listening to this. And just use your breath, maybe 3 nice deep breaths just to ground yourself and really feel yourself connecting. See thick, strong roots going deep, deep down into the earth, wrapping around the heart center of the earth, and just breathe into your body and really become fully present in your body. And Archangel Michael is here, arriving with a big black sack, and he's saying, just give me all your worries, just give me all your anything that's bothering you at the moment, any problems, any emails you have to send, anything that's on your to-do list, any client issues or business issues or family problems or whatever, and just put them all into this black bag for the moment. And he's taken the black bag and he says, look, you're welcome to take that up when you leave, or we can go through it one by one and we can help resolve all of these issues. But right now you don't need them. Just bring yourself completely into this space and let's be together and create this beautiful little energy vortex of healing, of love, of angels. So just, close your eyes, relax into this. I can feel the angels gathering around us. There's a lovely soft pink light coming around us today. So just imagine that all of you who are listening to this, that we're sort of in this energetic circle, and that we're connecting with each other just by being here, just by listening to this recording. We're connecting with that circle of light, of connection. And just breathing into this, relaxing your feet, your legs, your body. Just keep breathing and relaxing. And feel a beautiful sense of relaxation completely filling your whole body. And smile and relax your face and really increase your energy of happiness and gratitude and love. Drop down into your heart now for a moment and just really feel those feelings of love and gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and then just moving up into your third eye very quickly on that space between your two eyes on your forehead. And just use your imagination, or you might be able to see this, a beautiful purple light swirling and twirling and vibrating and moving away from you and towards you. And just see that purple light there. And now step into, use your imagination and step into that purple light. And just find yourself in a beautiful place in nature. Really use your imagination now and see yourself stand in a beautiful place. The blue, it's the perfect temperature. There's a lovely cool breeze. And just see a seating area very close by and see an angel standing there. And this is your guardian angel. And there's also another angel materializing beside your guardian angel. And this is Archangel Metatron. So just take a moment, make your way towards these two beautiful light beings and sit down, get comfortable in the seating area. You might find yourself on a physical seat, or you might find yourself lying on grass or by a river, whatever feels comfortable for you. Just sit yourself down and relax. And just take a moment with your guardian angel. You know, imagine what that angel would look like. Just use your imagination. See their hair, their eyes, their wings, the color of their clothes, if they're or the vibration that they're coming on. Just sit down with your guardian angel for a moment and just pour out your heart. Just talk about anything that is particularly on your mind right now, and just pour out your heart about the situation. Believe me, your angel already knows all about it. So just take a moment to pour out your heart. And just feel the physical relief of that as that burden is released, as you physically release the words to your angel. Just feel it in your body. You might feel your shoulders adjusting. You might feel a sigh or a relief. Maybe your arms might drop. Just let it go. Give it to your angel. And just ask, what's the one thing I need to do? What's the one piece of guidance or support that you can give me that will help with this issue? And just listen to what your angel says. And just accepting that information, that little piece of guidance. It could be one little nudge. Take a nap. Go for a walk. Ring a particular person. Go for milk. Write a letter. Whatever the guidance is, just accept that for yourself. And thank your guardian angel. And know that you can come back to this meditation as often as you wish. Now, Metatron is stepping in here very strongly. A beautiful purple and gold light. Very, very strong. Very, very powerful angel. And Metatron is here because you are a leader and a teacher, a spiritual teacher and leader at this time. It's part of your role. Most of the people, nearly 99% of people that come in contact with me or listen to me or follow my work are spiritual teachers and leaders and light workers. So Metatron is here. He's available to help you, to work with you in any area of your life. So just for a moment, I want you to connect with this angel. And I'm asking Metatron to give you a sign or a symbol. So just see Metatron handing you a gift, something that will help you in your life right now. It might be an object, a color, a word, a phrase, a photo, a knowing. And just allow yourself to receive this from Metatron. and ask Metatron for some more information around this, to give you a message around this that will support you right now in your life as a spiritual teacher, leader, healer, light worker. And just accept that information and allow it to drop into your heart, and thank Metatron for being here today and for giving you this guidance and support. And knowing that you can connect with Metatron, with many, many angels and archangels, and in particular your guardian angel, every single day, anytime you want. You can come back to this meditation and receive messages and guidance that will help you on your path. Just very gently taking all of this information and guidance into your heart, thanking these two beautiful beings for being here with us today. And then it's time to say goodbye to these beings. So just stepping from this place in nature back into your third eye area, seeing that purple swirling, twirling light, finding yourself feeling different, feeling released, feeling relaxed, feeling lighter. Your shoulders are lighter. And just really go into your body now, moving into your hands and into your feet. Stamp your feet if you want. Open your eyes if you close them. Bring yourself fully back into this present moment here. And yes, absolutely wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for this interview. It was real joy to reconnect with you, reconnect with angels. And I hope that our listeners will open up, especially those who maybe were not aware about angels' world, how they can help us and how we can ask for help. So thank you so much, Aishling, for being with us today.
Absolute pleasure, Inga. Loved it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thank you.